Holly. I am 41 years old and I was diagnosed August 16th of this year, 2024. Quite luckily, it was very easy for me to obtain an assessment because I live in America and the wait time is not the same as it is in Europe and other places around the world. And because aside from the interviews and testing, I submitted a lot of color-coded images of things like report cards, past notes from teachers, candid photos throughout the years of my hand gestures, as well as my sameness in clothing, and my collections and special interests. And because of that, the psychologist doing my testing said that we would need a lot less time to actually evaluate whether or not I am autistic. And we spent a lot of that time talking about my higher support needs. But I do want to say that people are often surprised that someone who is level 2 or has substantial support needs can be diagnosed later in life as an adult. Sometimes there are extenuating circumstances. For me, I was in and out of foster care when I was younger. Yeah, so after I was adopted at 9 years old, all of my traits were put on me being in foster care. So there's no need to feel ashamed if you are level 2 or have substantial support needs and you weren't diagnosed as a young child. I don't go out much, but when I do go places with my spouse, often in the checkout line at the grocery store, I'm doing a lot of this, I'm doing a lot of this, and a lot of this, and I won't notice, but everyone else seems to notice, and I've even had people come up to me before and say things like, oh, you must be used to rocking children, because I was going like this a lot, and I guess they associated it with like this, and so that was interesting. I also just don't make eye contact with people in person. It's not really a shyness thing for me. It's really a sensory issue. I'm a very visual person, and I'm taking in all of that visual input of the raising eyebrows, and so I'll need to look at something static like the floor or the wall so I can really take in what they're saying. I think the third thing is, even my psychologist who did my assessment, one of the things that stuck out the most is consistently loud. I really try to help this, but I do have a consistently very loud voice. And I'm making an observation about someone who's like the next checkout lane over. I'm not quiet about it, and then I can be seen as rude, so that's not great. As far as autistic traits that people don't notice, if you're in person, you're going to notice, but really the times when my autistic traits go the least noticed are probably on my YouTube channel. Even though I have no wanting to hide the fact that I'm autistic and that I have stems, both vocal and in movement, I do also really want the message I'm trying to convey, whether it be about creativity or identity, to be able to be easily received by the person watching the video. And when I'm going like this, and I have a lot of vocal stems, then sometimes people can just be motion sick before I really even get a chance to convey what I want to say. This next question is the reason why I reached out to William in the comments, and he ended up sending me a really wonderful email back inviting me to do an interview, which I thought was just really great of him. Having substantial support needs, or level 2, whatever you want to call it or not call it, it means that people are always going to notice that I'm autistic. I can't mask in person the way that other people can, and people who don't know about autism may even think that I maybe have a mental illness because of the way that they see me interacting with the world, or maybe think that I have an intellectual disability if they really don't know anything about autism and they don't really have a base to compare me with. And so it can be quite difficult. And I know that people with lower support needs can understand when going through burnout, often kind of what it feels like to be more akin to level 2. But for me, not being able to drive, cook for myself, live on my own, hold down any sort of traditional job outside the home, that's my starting point, not where I am when things are really dire. And so I think it's really important to listen to people with substantial support needs. Visibility is important, and people with substantial support needs need to find each other, because I'm not getting everything that I need because I'm not being fully seen and understood through all the aspects of being autistic for me. I love that. Really, I attribute this to being autistic, that I am such a visual person. It has enhanced my life so much, and I've been able to partake in so many creative pursuits because of it. And I'm very much a fixer. I can find some great creative out-of-the-box solutions, and I attribute that so much to my autistic brain. Faith is really a tough issue for me to talk about because it is so entangled in the church that I grew up in the Deep South, where I was treated very differently because of my autistic traits, like my very deep curiosity and need to ask a lot of questions, and just being overall very different and non-conforming. That was especially so with my peers in the youth group, and unfortunately my school bully went to my church and was a part of the youth group with me. Sometimes when trauma happens in the very place where we hope to be able to explore our faith, especially in our formative years, faith can often be associated with that pain. And I went through a lot of deep pain going to a church with peers who were not accepting at the best of times and quite cruel at the worst of times. But I do hope, and I think I already have a bit in the autistic community, found some really safe people to explore this topic with. And I really do hope that I can be a safe person too. Thank you so much, William, for giving me and other autistic people a platform to discuss their personal experiences. And have a great day, everyone. Bye.
I'm William O'Flaherty. Thanks for visiting my channel. Please consider liking and or sharing this video. Also, feel free to comment and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and watch other videos.